everyone! We are the Group 2
and we will be discussing to you about
obligation.
So first, what is obligation? So obligation is a term derived from a Latin word obligation, which means tying or binding. The law of obligation refers to a person's legal duty to do something. This legal duty arises in situations where a person or a group of people is required to take a particular course of actions under the law. These kinds of obligations are binding ties that are covered by legal terms and can be enforced by the court. So to further understand what is obligation, here are the concept map we prepared to you about obligation. First, we have here the elements of obligation, or the four requisites of obligation to have an effective obligation. First one is the active subject. The active subject is the person who has the right to demand the performance of the obligation. So, walang obligation kung walang magde-demand ng obligation. And the second one is the passive subject. The passive subject is the person who is bound to fulfill the obligation. So, itong passive subject ay yung obligor o yung gagawa ng ibinibigay na utos ni active subject. The third one is prestation. The prestation is the conduct required of the debtor, which can be to give, to do, or not to do the thing. So, ito yung kung ano yung ikakandak ng obligor or yung passive subject. And the fourth one is the legal tie or the juridical tie. This is the legal bond that connects the parties and make the obligation enforced by the law. Next one here is the sources of obligation.
There are 5 sources of obligation: the law, contracts, quasi-contracts, billings, and quasi-billings. Number 1, law. When they are imposed by law itself, examples: obligation to pay taxes, obligation to support one's family. Number 2, contracts. When they arise from the stipulation of the parties. Example: the obligation to repay a loan or indebtedness by virtue of the agreement. Number 3, quasi-contracts. When they arise from lawful, voluntary, and unliteral acts which are enforceable to the end that one shall gain in justifying which or benefited at the expense of another. In Article 142, in a sense, this obligation may be considered as arising from law. Example: the obligation to return money paid by mistake or which is not due. Number 4, delicts. When they arise from civil liability, which is the consequence of a criminal offense. Article 1161. Example: the obligation of the thief to return the car stolen by him. The duty of a killer to identify the heirs of his victim. Number 5, quasi-delicts or torts. When they arise from damage caused to another through an act or commission, there being fault or negligence but no contractual relation exists between the parties.
Kinds of obligation. We have here the kinds of obligation. First one is civil obligation. This defined in Article 1156. An obligation, if not fulfilled when it comes due and demandable, may be enforced in court through actions based on law, and sanction is juridical due process. So, this civil obligation is based on law. And next one is natural law, which is not based on the law. It is a special kind of obligation which cannot be enforced in court, by which authorize the retention of the voluntary payment of performance made by the debtor based on equity and the natural law. The third one is moral obligation. The moral obligation is the consequence of morality or the law of the church. So in moral law, it is not enforceable. And the other kinds of obligation is the real obligation, personal obligation, and the positive and negative obligation. So under obligation, we also have the nature and effect of obligation. First one is the real obligation. The real obligation is the obligation to give. It is one in which the prestation consists in delivery of the movable or the immovable thing in order to create the real right. So in this one, real obligation is the obligation to give. So yung obligation mong magbigay of the movable or immovable thing. And under personal obligation is the obligation to do or not to do. So in positive personal obligation, the obligation to do. And in the negative, the obligation to not to do the thing. So positive personal obligation is the obligation to do includes all kinds of work or services. While in the negative personal obligation is the obligation not to do consists of obtaining from same act, such as the duty of person not to create a nuisance of property. And we also have here the generic and the determinate thing. The determinate thing is the said to be specific or determinate when it is particularly designated or physically segregated from all other kinds of same class. And while in the generic, it is indeterminate when it refers only to the class or genus to which it pertains and cannot be pointed out with particularly. So meaning, indeterminate, like for example, if I say a car with a plate number 1062-A, it is a determinate. But when I say a car, it is a generic because it is not specified. So under this, we have the duties of debtor in delivering the generic thing. Number one is the duty to preserve. 2, the duty to deliver the thing itself. Number 3, the duty to deliver the fruits. And the last one is the duty to deliver the accessions and the accessories. So what is accessories? Accessories are those joined to or included with the principal for a latter's better use. For example, the car, yung car meron ng sariling gulong. Hindi mo matatawag or kasi yung gulong part na yon ng car. While in the accessories are addition to improvements upon the thing. For example, yung car ulit. Kapag nilagyan mo ng bumper or muffler yung sasakyan mo, it is considered as accession because it is the addition or improvements of the thing or in the car. In the duty of debtor in delivering the thing, we also have here the modes of delivery. Number 1 is the actual delivery. It is a physical transfer of a thing from the creditor to the debtor. Number 2, constructive delivery, where the physical transfer is implied. And number 3, symbolic delivery. Example, as when a key of the car are given as a graduation gift. Ito yung symbol na car ang binigay mo kasi yung binigay mong gift ay susi. And number 4, formal delivery. Example is execution of public instrument by selling land. 5, tradition longamano, by merge consent or pointing out of the object. Number 6 is the traditio brevimano, which delivery by the shorthand, the kind of delivery whereby a possessor of a thing, not as the owner, becomes as the owner. For example, binigay ko yung relo ko kay Robilin, itong relo ko ay magiging sa kanya na. And the last one is the traditio constitutum possessorium, which is the opposite of brevimano. Thus, the delivery here by a possessor of a thing as an owner retain possession no longer as an owner, but in some of the other capacity. We also have here the breach of obligation, the negligence, delay, and the fraud. First one is the delay. There are 3 kinds of delay, which is the mora solvendi, mora siciendi, and the compensation rate. Mora solvendi is the default on the part of debtor, while in the mora siciendi, the default is in the part of the creditor. And in the compensation rate, the default is in the both parts of the party. While here in the negligence, there are also 3 kinds of negligence. the culpa quotidiana, the culpa contractual, and the culpa criminal. There are also kinds of fraud, the dolo incidente and the dolo quasante. Dolo incidente is the cause of obligation and committed in non-performance of pre-existing obligation, while the dolo quasante is the involvement of fraud in obtaining consent of one party and result of avoidable contract.
The pure and conditional obligation. Pure obligation. Pure obligation is one which is not subject to any condition and no specific date and mention for this fulfillment and is therefore immediately demandable. Example, I promise to give you a 1,000 pesos. As you can see, wala siyang binigay na period o kung kailan ibibigay yung 1,000. Conditional obligation. So, conditional obligation is one whose consequences are subject in any way or another fulfillment of a condition. Example, I will give you my laptop if you pass a CPA examination. As you can see, may condition na dun sa binigay kong example. Kung hindi siya papasa sa CPA examination, hindi ko ibibigay ang laptop sa kanya. Two principal kinds of condition. The first one is suspensive condition. Suspensive condition is a condition precedent or condition antecedent, or one of fulfillment of which will give you a rise to an obligation. The next one, resolutory condition. Condition subsequent or one the fulfillment of which will extinguish an obligation or right already existing. Under these are the classification of obligation. Number 1. As to form, express, the condition is clearly stated. Number 2. Imply, the condition is merely inferred. Number 3. As to possibility, possible, the condition is capable of fulfillment legally and physically. Impossible, the condition is not capable of fulfillment legally or physically. Potestative, the condition depends upon the will of one contracting parties. Casual, the condition depends upon the chance or upon the will a third person. Mixed, the condition depends partly upon the chance and partly upon the will of a third person. Positive, the condition consists in the performance of an act. Negative, the condition consists in the commission of an act. Conjunctive, there are several conditions and all must be fulfilled. Disjunctive, there are several conditions and only one or some of them must be fulfilled. Divisible, the condition is suspendable of partial performance. And last, indivisible, this is the condition is not susceptible of partial performance.
The next one, obligation with a period. Obligation with a period, there is an expiration or arrival of this said period or term which has an effect or consequences to one and is subject to or to comply one way or another. Ito ay isang sitwasyon kung saan ang isang tao ay may tungkulin na magsagawa ng isang action, ngunit merong nakasaad na particular na tatlong panahon upang gawin niya ito. So, what is period? Period is a future and certain event which will certainly come but it may not be known when as stated in Article 193, Paragraph 3. A day certain is understood to be that which must necessarily come, although it may not be known when. Kinds of period. According to effect, suspensive period, an obligation that begins only when the day certain arrive. Sky or suspensive period, an obligation that begins only when the day certain arrive. For example, I will deliver to you my car 6 months from now. If this promise is made on June 30, 2023, the debtor's obligation to deliver the car will become demandable only on January 1, 2024. Kinds of period, according to effect. Dime or resolutory period. An obligation with a resolutory becomes demandable at once but terminates or is extinguished only upon arrival of the period. For example, I will lend you my car for 2 years. If this promise made on June 30, 2013, the debtor will immediately deliver the car to the creditor on the same day. The creditor can use the car for 2 years until June 30, 2015, when the creditor will be obliged to return the car back to the debtor. In this case, the arrival of the period June 30, 2015 has the effect of terminating or extinguishing the debtor's obligation to the creditor. Source. First, legal period provided by laws. Second, conventional or voluntary period agreed to by the parties under Article 1196. Number 3, judicial period fixed by the court under Article 1197. According to definiteness. Number 1, definite period, fixed or known when it will come. Ibig sabihin nito, alam mo kung kailan ito darating. For example, I will give you a specific card on December 20, 2011. So, December 20, 2011 is yun yung date na nakasaad din kailan ito darating. 2. Indefinite period, when it is not fixed or it is not known when it will come. Where the period is not fixed but a period is intended. The courts are usually empowered by law to fix the date. For example, I will give you a car when you become a broadcaster. So, ibig sabihin nito, hindi mo, alam mo mabibigyan ka pero hindi mo alam kung kailan ito darating. Requisites for a valid term or period. Number 1, it must be future. Number 2, it must be certain. Number 3, it must be possible, physical, and legal.
It's facultative and alternative obligation. Alternative obligation is when several objects or prestations are due, but the payment or performance of one of them would be sufficient. Meaning, out of 2 or more prestations na pwedeng ibigay, the delivery of one is sufficient to extinguish the obligation. For example, Tom promises to deliver Jerry his car, his ring, and his house. Tom does not have to deliver the 3 things enumerated. Article 1200. The right of choice belongs to the debtor unless it has been expressly granted to the creditor. So, general rule, si debtor ang magde-decide pero pwede naman si creditor kapag yun ang napag-usapan. The debtor shall have no right to choose the prestations which are impossible, unlawful, or which could not have been the object of obligation. For example, the previous example, Tom promises Jerry to deliver his car, his house, 1 kilo of shabu, a star, and the moon. Meaning, Tom cannot choose the third because it is unlawful. Either the fourth. Obviously, it is impossible. So, yung options niya na lang talaga are either the house or the car. Article 1201. The choice shall produce no effect except from the time it has been communicated. Ang choice ay walang epekto hanggat hindi pa ito na i-communicate to other party. If nakapag-notify na si Tom kay Jerry na ang gusto niyang ibigay ay ang car, then hindi siya magiging alternative obligation. It will become a simple obligation. Article 1202. The debtor shall lose right of choice when among the prestations whereby he is alternatively bound, only one is practicable. For example, Tom promises Jerry his car, his house, 1 kilo of shabu, a star, and a moon. So, the choice 3 and 4 is illegal and impossible. Now, kapag nagkaroon ng earthquake, gumuho ang bahay, nasira. That's before the choice was made. Ang natitira na lang ay ang car. So, Tom can deliver only the car. And Article 1202, in that case, the debtor lose the right of choice. Meaning, naging simple obligation na lang siya. Article 1203. If through the Creditors Act, the debtor cannot make choice according to the terms of the obligation, the latter may rescind the contract with damages. Kapag hindi natuloy ang contract due to the fault of creditor, debtor may choose to rescind or mapawalang bisa ang kontrata. 1204. The creditor shall have a right to indemnity for damages when through the fault of the debtor, he will become liable for damages. Previous example, kapag si Tom ay hindi niya na-deliver those prestations, siya ay kailangang magbayad ng danyos kay Jerry. Check of fortuitous event. Kapag lahat ng prestations ay naging impossible dahil sa isang hindi maiiwasang paghiyan, ang obligation ay mawawala at ang may utang ay hindi mananagot sa anumang batas. If lahat ng prestations ay hindi nagawa due to fortuitous event except for one, the one last remaining choice should perform by the debtor, but if the one last remaining is hindi nagawa ng debtor, should liable for damages based on the value of the remaining prestations.
Obligation. The debtor is bound to perform when prestation is to due deliver one thing with a reserved right to choose another prestation or thing as substitute for the principal. Additionally, person alternatively bound by different prestation shall completely perform one of them. The creditor cannot be compelled to receive part of one part of the other undertaking. Lastly, facultative obligation refers to a type of obligation where one thing is due but another is paid in its place. In such type of obligation, there is no alternative provided. The debtor is given the right to substitute the thing due when another place is not due. Example of facultative obligation. A at B ay magkaroon ng kondisyon na bibigyan ni A si B na mag-consent. Pero binigyan ni A ay magpasiklo bilang kapalit ng nasabing consent.
Obligation. One where the credit or debt shall be pursued to be divided into as many equal shares. As there are creditor or debtor, the credit or debt being considered distinct from one another. Obligation. One where the creditor or debt shall be pursued to be divided into as many equal shares as there are creditor or debtor, the credit or debt being considered distinct from one another. Each debtor is liable only for a proportionate part of debt, each debtor to his proportionate shares to the creditor. Example of joint obligation. Say at B ay umutang ng 10,000 kay C at obligado silang maghati at magbayad ng tig 5,000.
Solidary obligation. Each one of the debtors is obligated to pay the inter-obligation and each one of the creditors has the right to demand from any debtors the payment of fulfillment of the inter-obligation.
Example of solidary obligation. Si A at B umutang kay C ng 10,000 and kahit na nagbayad na si A ng 5,000, obligado pa rin siyang magbayad dahil hindi pa nabubuo ang 10,000 kasi solidary liable si B kay C. So we also have here the extinguishment of obligation. We have here 6 extinguishment of obligation. First one is payment of performance. What is payment? Payment is mean not only the delivery of the money but also the performance in any manners of an obligation. It is also a juridical act which is voluntary or illicit. Kinds of payment. We have a normal and abnormal kinds of payment. A normal payment is when the debtor voluntarily performs the prestation stipulated. And abnormal payment if when he is forced by the means of juridical proceeding either to comply with the prestation or to pay the indemnity. Next one is the characteristic of payment. We have here the integrity, identity, and indivisibility. Integrity is the payment of obligation must be completely made. Identity is the payment of obligation must be consist the performance of the very thing due. And the divisibility is the payment of obligation that must be entirely. We also have here the special form of payments. Number one is the dation in payment, which is the delivery or transmission of ownership of a thing by the debtor to the creditor. Number two, the payments by cession or assignment. It is the abandonment of the universality of the property of the debtor for the benefits of his creditor. In others, such property may be applied to the payment of the credit. And the third one is the application of payment. The application of payment, it is a designation of the debt which is being paid by the debtor who has several obligations of the same kind of favor of the creditor to whom payment is made. And the last one is the tender of payment. The tender of payment is the manifestation made by the debtor to the creditor of his desire to comply with the obligation with offer to immediate performance.
Other extinguishment of obligation is the loss of thing due. Impossibility of performance. The possibility of the performance must be subsequent to the execution of the contract in order to extinguish the obligation. Requisites of loss to extinguish obligation. 1. Obligation is to do or to deliver. 2. Generic real obligation is not subject to loss. 3. Debtor must be guilty of fraud or negligence. 4. Debtor must be guilty of delay. 5. In the absence of second and third requisites, the obligation to deliver is converted to indemnity of damages. There are 3 kinds of loss. Physical loss, civil loss, which is the thing is beyond recovery. Legal loss is subsequently declared illegal or prohibited or declared outside Article of Commerce.
Other extinguishment of obligation is the condonation or remission of the debt. Condonation or remission of the debt is the sense of the action excusing a party's failure to comply with the time frames prescribed for referral or dispute to the CCMA. For example, if a wife did not object to her husband's adultery, even though she was aware of it, and she later tries to use it as a ground for a divorce or the basis for settlement in her favor, he could counter these efforts by arguing that she had condoned his behavior.
Other extinguish of obligation is confusion of merger of the rights of creditor. Confusion of rights is also termed confusion of debts. It refers to the merger of rights and duties in the same person, resulting in confusion of rights and the extinction of obligation, especially the blending of the rights of a creditor and debtor, which results in the extinguish of the creditor's right to collect the debt.
Kinds of compensation. Number 1, legal. When it takes place by operation, by law, because all the requisites are present. Number 2, facultative. Facultative when it can be claimed by one party who, however, its right to object to it such as when one of obligation as period for the benefit of one party alone who pronounced the period so as to make the obligation. Number 3, conventional. When the parties agree to compensate their mutual obligation, even in some requisites, is lacking. Number 4, judicial. When declared by the court in a case where there is a counterclaim. Number 5, voluntary or conventional compensation. This is a compensation by agreement of the parties, even if some requisites provided by the law should be welcome.
Other extinguishment of obligation is novation. Novation, an agreement made between two contracting parties to allow for the substitution of a new party for an existing one. The original contracting party, when is replaced by the new party with the novation, is excused by the novation, and therefore the original party who is replaced gives up any rights they have against the original party to the contract. Example, a supplier who wants to replenish a business customer might find another source for the customer. if all three agree, the contract can be torn up and replaced with a new contract that differs only in the name of the supplier. The old supplier relinquishes rights and obligation of the contract to the new supplier.
Characteristic in contract. In contract, there must at least two persons or parties because it is possible for one to contract himself. Autonomy contract is the agreement of the parties to create, change, or extinguish a legal relationship. Obligatory force. Contract create binding obligation for parties to comply beyond just the written of obligatory is a arising form contract have the force of law between the contracting parties and should be complied with the good faith mutuality. Last, mutuality. Contract must bind both parties in order that can be enforced against either its validity compliance cannot be left or will of them.
So in order to have an effective contract, elements of contract must be present, which is the consent, object, and the cause. What is consent? Consent is the manifested by the meeting of the offer and the acceptance upon the thing and the cause which are the constitute of the contract. And the object is the subject matter. It is the thing, right, or service which is the subject matter of the obligation arise from the contract. And the third one is the cause. Cause or consideration is the essential reason which move the parties to enter into the contract. It is the immediate, direct, and proximate reason which justifies the creation of an obligation through that will be or through that will of the contract parties or the contracting parties. For real contract, there must be a consent, object, cause, and delivery. But if the contract is formal, there must be a consent, object, cause, and a form.
Next one is the form of contracts. When we say form of contracts, is it in writing, pwede bang verbal or oral, private document, or public document lang? So as a general rule, contracts shall be obligatory in any form. So form is not required, as long as the essential requisites are present: consent, cause, and object of contracts. Form of validity. Through informal or solemn contracts, yung batas mismo ay ni-require ng specific form para maging valid ang contract. Kasi kung hindi, the contract is may not effect. Example, donation of real property, because it must be in public document in order to be valid. Form for enforceability. Those required for the purpose of proving the existence of the contract, such as in statute of frauds. Contract is valid because it complies with the essential elements, but neither party can demand the prestation because nothing is written.
Rescission contract is the cancellation of a contract. A rescission may be unilateral, as when a party rightfully cancels a contract because of another party's material breach. Rescission can also be mutual, as when the contracting parties agree to discharge all remaining obligations. For example, two contracting companies agree to a contract work together on a building project, but both lose many of their employees at the same time. They mutually decide to rescind the contract to rectify the situation.
Voidable or annulable contracts. Existent, valid, and binding, although they can be annulled because of want of capacity or initiated consent of one of the parties. But before the annulment, they are effective and obligatory between the parties. Example for voidable contract. Ang kasunduan ng nagpapautang ng pera ay maaaring maging voidable kung ang nagpapautang ay napipilitan lamang o nagloko ng kanyang kliyente.
Contract is defective contracts if it is enforceable contract. Unenforceable contract. An enforceable contract is a valid contract that the court chooses for a specific reason not to enforce. For example of unenforceable contract. If Company A contracts to send 20 barrels of its lard to Company B, and a natural disaster wipes out Company B's entire stock of lard before the sale can be completed.
Void or inexistent contracts. A void or existent contracts is one which has no force and effect from the very beginning, as if had never been entered into and which cannot be validated either time or ratification. Void and existent contract versus rescissible contracts. Rescissible contract, the defect is in the effects either to one of the parties or to a third party. While in void contracts, the defect inherent in the contract itself. Void or inexistent contract versus unenforceable contracts. They are similar in that they cannot be the basis of action to enforce compliance. The differ in that unenforceable contracts can be ratified and thereafter enforced, while the latter can never be ratified and become unenforceable. Void or inexistent contract versus voidable contracts. Voidable contracts are those in which the essential elements are present, but consent is vitiated by want to capacity, or by error, violence, intimidation, undue influence, or deceit, while a void contract is which one of those essential requisites in wanting either fact or in law, or is declared void by statute.
Again, we are the Group 2. Thank you for watching.